Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Brett Scott with Architect Fitness. Today we want to talk about weight loss and fat loss with weight training versus just traditional cardio and how that can affect our bodies. It's a highly contested topic and we want to go through some of these pieces of each today and discuss why one might be better than the other or how they can both work together. So I'm going to start with some myths. First myth is that weightlifting is going to bulk you up. So a lot of people, especially women, think that training with weights in general strength training is really going to add this massive amount of muscle to them, which just simply isn't the case. For one, we don't have the hormone profiles to do that. So to grow massive amounts of muscle like that, you also need to have a very high caloric, dense nutrition where you're eating a lot of calories every day, a lot of protein. Not all of us want to do, and not all our members typically do anyways. Myth number 2 is that running is gonna give me more muscle tone. So as much as running and cardio can decrease our body mass, it's not necessarily gonna tone us up. When we do endurance type sports like running or rowing or cycling, our body's natural tendency is actually to try to get smaller and lose more mass. We're actually not creating much more muscle tone because our body is trying to lose it to be more efficient for these types of activities. Myth number 3 is gonna be that to burn fat in the gym with weight training, you need to spend hours there, where studies have shown over and over again that as little as 30 minutes of weight training 3 times a week is efficient at burning calories and losing weight in the gym with traditional strength training. So what we want to think about when it comes to weight loss and fat loss is which one is it that we're actually getting and which one are we trying to achieve. So both can be accomplished with running and strength training. However, cardio type activities like running, we're gonna have much more of an effect on decreased body mass, where we'll be losing skeletal muscle mass, some fat mass, as well as even bony mass as well, and water weight. So with weight training, we see this difference where we have an increased loss of fat mass with some increased muscle mass put on the body, where we actually improve our body's resting metabolic rate, and we're actually able to burn more calories and lose more fat when we have more muscle. So there are many benefits to cardio, and those include increased cardiovascular health. We also see decreases in the risk and chances of things in metabolic diseases and certain types of cancer and things as well. And a lot of people just love that runner's high they get, or that runner's euphoria. So with weight training, we see things happen a little bit different, and this all comes from a physiologic standpoint. So one of the big things we look at is what we call EPOC, which is exercise post-oxygen consumption. Now with this, what happens is when we're on a treadmill and we're running for 45 minutes, we burn calories during that time, but as soon as we step off that treadmill, we are done. Now with weight training, on the other hand, when we get done with our weight training, we still burn a higher amount of calories for a long period of time due to the need for muscle repair, muscle regrowth, and just general recovery. So this makes a big difference long-term of what we see for fat loss, because if we are trying to build more muscle, we end up putting on more muscle, having a higher metabolic rate where we can burn more calories through the day, we can eat more food, and we can lose more fat. So on top of the benefits of being able to eat more calories and burn fat with weight training, there are still the same benefits and similar benefits from weight training as cardio training, where we'll still see decreases in the risk of cardiovascular disease. We'll see decreased risk in metabolic disease like diabetes, decreased risk of cancer, and improved quality of life. And the big thing too for the long term we want to think about is disability long term in our function later in life, where stronger people typically do better when they can lift more weights and they're stronger. So thinking of your mother or grandmother who might have a fall, if she's stronger and her bones are strong, they're not going to break as easily. We also see higher rates of force development where people are able to catch themselves and not fall, and they don't get hurt as easily because they are stronger in their joints and their cartilage is more resilient. So these are all other benefits of weight training versus just doing cardio. So thinking about both of these in their modes of application, there are a couple downsides to each of them as well. So with things like cardio, people tend to think it's easier, and for the most part it is. We all have two legs and we can all go out on the road and run, and We don't need an expensive treadmill. We just kind of need some decent weather and some space, and we can go. Now, what tends to happen with these types of situations is we see people just go out, they start doing it because they think it's simple, and they don't always have the prerequisites for strength and resilience and joint integrity to go out there and sustain these repeated loads for a long period of time. So we do sometimes see some repetitive and overuse injuries from running that we actually typically can fix with some strength training. And on the flip side, with weight training, we see a lot of people sometimes avoid it because it is a little bit harder to get started and people don't necessarily know how to do the movements right. They might be a little more afraid of getting hurt and doing things wrong. And there are a lot of different movements that are out there that you can learn. It can be a bit overwhelming. So that is why we do have a coaching staff here to take people through that and show you how to do everything right so you're not getting hurt, and that we're working out effectively to get you towards your goals as well. Typically at Architect Fitness, based on you, and if you're really looking to improve your overall health and well-being, we do a mix of weight training, and then we do have plenty of cardio equipment here where people will be pushing sleds, we'll monitor their running programs, we'll get them on the bike, we'll put them on the rower. So if you're interested in learning more, go ahead and click the link below to book your absolutely free, no obligation consultation and get started today.